Aloha and welcome to another episode of Surf's Up. Today we're going to talk to Michael Morrison, a former surf instructor, and Davis Donnell, a local surfer. I'm stoked to have you guys on this show. So tell us, how did you first get into surfing?
I got started about 12 years ago when my neighbor was throwing out a old Hawaiian gun longboard. And I picked that thing up out of the trash, got fins for it, and I went on the bus, rode the bus all the way down to Huntington by myself and started teaching myself.
I started, it was a summer camp that I went to in middle school down in Carlsbad, San Diego. I taught myself. We were allowed to take the foam boards that the camp had out every afternoon, and I got into it. It was amazing. Probably also had a lot to do with me being 14 and like ego.
Yeah.
You can play club soccer, Michael. Why can't you get up on a surfboard? You need to be able to do this right now. But once I actually got up, like, I loved it.
And was that like the hooking point for you? You're like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get good at this. I'm going to be the best.
I got up just wanting to do it just to do it so that,
Yeah.
like, I could, because everyone else was getting it but me, and I was not okay with that at all. Yeah, right? So, yeah, middle school ego. Anyways, yeah, once I got up, though, I was just like, this is amazing. And I knew, right? I was just like, yup, that's me.
And what about for you? Did you was there a moment that you knew, like, this is my thing, this is my passion?
It's actually kind of funny because I started and I didn't really like it at first. It was just something to do to get out of the house in the summer.
Yeah.
But then I joined the surf team freshman year of high school, so then that kind of instilled the surf bug in me for sure.
Yeah. And then has it just been that way like ever since?
Oh, absolutely.
Every week going surfing? Like, how often do you guys surf?
I try and get like 2 to 3 times a week, but busy schedule barely makes that happen anymore.
If there's waves and I can go, I go.
Yeah? Anytime? No, would you drop everything for it?
No, if I can go.
Yeah.
If I can go. Certain things I'm willing to blow off.
Yeah.
Every now and then it depends. Like the wave, like quality of the wave to like whatever I need to blow off.
It's like a certain ratio going
Yeah,
on there.
If it's
definitely.
good enough, then yeah, I'm skipping
if
class
it's 4 foot and
or
clean,
something
you
like
go.
that. Yeah, yeah.
That's
absolutely.
some dedication right there. If you could surf anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Baja, Mexico. I mean, there's so many good spots. It's rugged coastline, nobody's out, and you can always find a pretty decent wave to have to yourself.
Antarctica.
Yes?
Yeah.
Antarctica?
Yeah. Just so I could say I did it. That's basically it. No other reason.
Only reason?
It probably sucks.
No one else did it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And then locally, where are your favorite spots and why?
I think Leo Carrillo up in Malibu. I mean, it's just this long right, and I mean, the rides go for 300 yards, so your legs get tired by the end of it, and it's definitely fun.
Oh, definitely San Onofre.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's a beautiful beach, and like the culture down there and the wave itself, it is fantastic. You're walking distance from trestles, so you can go shortboard whatever you want, and then the longboard waves that are there are just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you get rides that go forever. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're both partial because we're both longboarders,
Yeah,
so we're
exactly.
like long and slow, man.
Uh-huh.
What's
all
the
day
difference
long.
between like longboards and, shortboards and all that? For you guys, like you're comfortable with it or,
I guess it'd have a lot to do. Longboarding utilizes the front half of the board, whereas shortboarding is more technical. Longboarding's more about, like, I guess you could say letting the wave do the work. You really have to
you
be
let the
able to
wave
read
dictate the ride.
wave
Yeah.
well, and because you've got a really like big heavy board, it's hard to maneuver that on your own. I mean, you have to like, yeah.
Yeah,
You just kinda-
with longboard too, it's all about style.
That too, a lot.
Yeah, there's
and is
there's
that
not
what
much
like
style,
you're
yeah.
drawn to or?
Yeah, me personally. I mean, I started off shortboarding and surfed competitively shortboarding, and then as soon as I quit competing, I switched up to longboard just because it's easier, it's more fun, and you look badass doing it. if you're good, if not, you're a
Yeah.
kook. But
All right, and then tell us about your craziest surf experience.
all right, well, I got in a fight one time when I was competing. We had a guy drift down into the contest area, and he was basically dropping in on all of our waves, so we can't get scored on a wave that he drops in on.
Yeah.
So after he dropped in on a few of my friends, I dropped in behind him and launched my board up at him. I hit him like right in his leg. So He fell. He was a little pissed about that, so we exchanged a few blows out in the water, and then all the rest of
Is
the
it
competitors.
hard to like swim and punch at the same time, or?
I mean, I did water polo for a few years,
Oh,
so
okay, so you're used
so
to
I was
that.
used to it.
You're
Yeah.
trained.
Got that sack
Yeah.
tapping on lock.
yeah, I know how to put him down.
All right. Well, I guess my like craziest surf experience would probably also be the funniest surf experience I've ever had. This past summer, we had these 2 Japanese exchange students come stay at our house, right? And their names were Yuki and Yoshiki, and didn't speak a word of English. They're 13 years old, just tiny little boys, and we when they came, they went out into the side yard and they saw the surfboards and they go, surf? And I go, yeah, let's go. So I took them and we get to the beach and somehow managed to get all the translations out so that they knew what they were doing out there and what words to listen for. And I'm trying to get Yoshiki out. He's this like 13-year-old small little kid, and the waves were a lot bigger than we were like actually intending for that day.
Yeah.
And I go back to the beach and I let him just kind of get destroyed out there until I get back with my board. I have him grab my ankle. It wasn't easy to get his attention with the waves and his lack of English. But I look at him like, Yoshiki. He goes, huh? Grab my ankle. Huh? Grab my freaking ankle. So he grabs my ankle and I start powering him out there. I get us both out past the break, right? And we're waiting. And this huge wave comes in from way out the back. And we're both looking at it, and then we look at each other, and we look back at it, and we look at each other, and I look at it and I go, are you ready? And he looks back at me and goes, no! And I go, Yoshiki, when I push you into this, you have to stand up. And he goes, no! And he's back paddling against me, and I'm swimming forward with him, and I shove him into this thing, and I yell, pop, 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 pop. And he pops up and he starts dropping down. But it was like he was staying stationary. The wave just kept building behind him and he wasn't moving. And he finally shot down out in front of it. And the wave breaks behind him. And it was like the finger of God came down, because as the wave's getting closer, he's now going back and he just, boom, and just gets flicked up into the air. And if you've ever seen the first Jackass, where Preston and Wee Man jump off a bridge with a bungee cord attached to each other, and Wee Man gets rocketed down into the water, that's essentially what happened with Yuki, the leash of the surfboard, and the board.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
That is a crazy experience.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
All right, so is there any surfer that you look up to or that inspires you?
Yeah, definitely. One of my friend's dad, he's in his late 60s now, and he's still getting out there 3-4 times a week. And if I can be doing that at his age, that'd be awesome. And then any style longboard surfer, I mean, I love, like Joel Tudor's a great example. It really makes you want to work on your style a little bit better.
I guess really thinking about, Joel Tudor, but really thinking about, I think the greatest like inspiration or like role model for surfing is just, for me, it's the ocean. Just being able to go out there and like get my ass kicked or have a really good time or get really frustrated. Like I look up to that a lot more, just that raw power of nature than I guess you'd say any real surfer.
Yeah.
So
anyone that has fun, really.
Exactly.
I've never thought about it like that. Do you have any advice for the beginners out there that want to get into surfing, or they're ready to do it but they don't know how to get started? Like, what's your advice to them?
Stay off my wave.
Pick a slow wave to start. So any beach break, Bolsa Chica locally. And then probably a big longboard, maybe a foam board, so it's a little bit safer for not only the new surfer, but everybody else out in the lineup.
Definitely that. Bigger boards are much easier to start. I mean, people want to just go straight into shortboarding. It doesn't really work like that. Shortboarding is basically swimming.
Yeah.
There's like unless you have incredible balance. But I mean,
there's no way.
Longboarding, a nice mellow beach, and definitely checking how big the waves are going to be before you go would be very important for beginners, because you could go to a mellow beach. If it's an 8-foot day, that's not a mellow beach.
No, anything under 3 feet for a beginner, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 feet is like prime. That's about perfect.
Sounds good. And then as surfers, the condition of the ocean has a huge effect on your sport. Is there anything at stake with the local coastlines that could be negative to the surfing lifestyle?
Locally, yeah, Doheny State Beach being located between the harbor, which blocks off all swell activity from the west-northwest and the northwest during the winter. And it's only open to the swell window from the south. What that basically means is, and you got the harbor on one side, and then you got a river that outflows on the other, and there's all these birds that sit right in that river and poop in it, and then that gets flushed straight out into the lineup, so you're literally out there surfing with like turds floating by you.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
nasty.
harbor and all the boats and the chemicals that are in there, that water's just sitting stagnant. So if there's a period of time when there's no waves coming through, the water in Doheny really just kind of sits and stagnant, I guess would be the thing to say. Like, it gets disgusting.
Yeah, some nasty stuff grows there.
And like bacteria levels exceed health standards at Doheny, I want to say, for a lot during, or many times throughout the year. I don't want to give an actual number, but I remember a few years ago when I volunteered for an organization called Best Day Foundation, teaches kids with special needs how to surf. We couldn't actually bring them in the water because the quality was so bad. The bacteria levels were so high, we could only take them in the outrigger canoes.
Yeah.
That was all we could do because it was too disgusting. And it was sad too because waves were really good. It would have been really fun. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some problems, specifically locally that.
Yeah, and then that sounds like that's out of like the locals' like control. What can we do personally to help clean up our beaches?
Well, I mean, there's a kid in Hawaii who started something called, I don't know if it had an actual name, pick up 3 pieces of trash. He just tried to get as many people to do it as possible. Every time you go to the beach or go out in the water, just pick up 3 pieces and drop them in the nearest trash can by your car before you go. That's huge. Organizations like Surfrider Foundation have chapters all over the world, and they actively do beach cleanups that anyone can sign up and volunteer for. But I mean, honestly, like if you want to make a change, like there's a group of 6th graders that started a movement in California. It got passed, I believe, November 2011, that got shark finning banned and the trade of shark fin soup in California. And that was a group of 6th graders from Irvine.
Oh, wow.
Just around the corner.
Oh, that's really
So,
cool.
I mean, like, if you really want to make a difference, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
any small difference is a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much for being with
absolutely.
us today. It's been
It's
a
a pleasure.
blast sharing your experiences and hearing everything. Please tune in next week when we interview surf god Kelly Slater. Surf's up. Goodbye, everyone.